Hello, good evening and welcome to the State Hockey Centre. My name as always is Dave Webb and I am joined tonight by Bevan Jones. Welcome Bevan to your first taste of the Statewide Super League. We are back. God, it feels like an absolute age since we've seen some Premier League, but we are ready to go again. Bevan.
Great to be here, Dave. Looking forward to this game.
So we are underway. The Storm will be attacking the right of your screen. The Saints, wearing the pale blue, will be attacking the left of your screen. The first time that we've seen the Premier League in anger for 2019, and should be a good one. We were talking just before we came on air, Bevan, about the fact you asked me who I thought would win this one, and I think just looking at it on paper and looking at the faces that are around there, it should be the Saints, but we know what sport's like and the underdog always gets there.
Exactly.
So the Saints are looking to go forward. Shand will pick it up just out the circle, just trying to get the first circle entry. Big and strong, good challenge though, just outside the circle. McLaughlin looks to bring it in, and again the Storm can shut it down. No real outlet.
Three different capacity can...
Something we're going to manage when the Saints by Melody Cooper, Kiwi, friend of the show. And Holly Evans, who I haven't seen around tonight, but is certainly involved with the Eastern Saints. Would love to see the number of overheads we're getting early on, just to try and free up and hold that and just uncongest that midfield. The Saints will manage to get a circle entry, will manage to get a shot on goal. Excellent deflection behind from the Storm, and we'll have a long corner. But just to stretch it out and seeing the overheads now as well, rather than trying to play through that congested midfield, is going to free everything up, I think.
Yeah, it's certainly something that's different, a different part of the game, but it certainly seems like it's added to the game as well, Dave.
Just blocked Dane Food, didn't quite agree with him. We may see him play in the men's game, we may not. Just a loose pass again. At the moment, it's only the errors from the Saints at the moment that are just giving up possession.
They've certainly had a lot of the possession in these early stages though, Dave.
Yeah, and that's what we've seen, especially with these statewide Super League games, the women's games, it's more about possession. If you are new to hockey, you will see it's almost like chalk and cheese watching the men and women go at it.
Skill level is certainly very impressive, as I mentioned before, when you've got some of the best players in the state and even the country going around, Dave. It certainly makes the game very exciting, doesn't it?
It is one of the best games going around, and probably only going to get better, because, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you get onto the Hockey SA website. Memberships are available for the South Australian Fire. Brand new Hockey One competition happening this year. Make sure you get your memberships. So the Storm will look to come away again, just through the legs of Spano. No touch, so the Saints again will be able to start and build an attack from here. Happy to go all the way around the back, and again just looking to lift it forward. Nothing coming from that, no advantage for the Storm, so the Saints will get to go again. Shand comes out to this near side to Bridgeland. Bridgeland just tried to go around the corner, didn't quite get there, wins her own ball back. Now Spano can go, beats the first one, manages to thread the ball through. Ball is all sorts of messy in there, but the Saints are managing to get something, and they conceded a free hit. First real glimpse of Spano, and don't forget as well, when we watched the Premier League last year, Spano was coming back off an injury or had been away, so it really wasn't in full swing. We are seeing a 100% fit Mickey Spano.
And made her debut, as you mentioned before, with the Hockeyroos last year, which is very exciting. So hopefully see her in the Olympics in Tokyo next year, Dave.
Yeah, has come through the junior system. She's no stranger to international hockey, but now she's playing with the big girls. And like you say, hopefully will make her way over to Japan next year. Again, they will look out to this near side. Happy to go into midfield again, into Thomas. Thomas will spread it out far on that right-hand side. Ball squeezes through, and again the Saints will have a look at goal. Spano pounced on it, still there. Good clearance eventually from the Storm, and they will weather that storm, but there will be more coming, you would think.
good defence, very much. They've, as you mentioned before, the Storm have certainly, the Saints have very much controlled possession in these early stages of the game, Dave, but the Storm are certainly defending really well, considering the amount of time it's had, in their defence so far.
It is that, can they weather the Storm for the rest of this game? They are under huge amounts of pressure and haven't really seen them manage to get out yet. There is Spano, excellent work, winning the ball back and managing to squeeze through the gap. Can she beat the third one? Squares it across the top. Just nobody was quite ready to go. And again, the Storm, can manage to relieve the pressure.
She's a class above Spano, isn't she? The way she just dodged those opponents through there and just showed her skill. Can see why she's a hockey-roo, that's for sure.
So the Storm will look to try and get out again, and again the Saints have managed to shut them down before they get out of that half. They will get a free hit again. There is a player open. Oh, not 5. Or didn't go 5. I'm not sure what that was for, to be honest, but it's going to come back. And the best that the Storm can do at the moment is just to clear the decks and try and rebuild and regroup. And I think they're just hoping for a breakaway goal at the moment.
You mentioned before, Dave, that hockey has a lot of similarities to soccer or football, as some people like to call it. You're spot on, because quite often in soccer it's all about possession and then making those opportunities. And at the moment, we've seen the Storm not really have much possession, but they could turn around easily and just score, and that's the way sport goes.
It's all
about
exactly the way.
Making the most of the opportunities, isn't it? So, yeah.
Out on the far side again. Good ball in. Spano will just deflect it. And another free hit, because Cass was about to pull the trigger. And the whistle was blown. Just a deflection from Spano inside the circle and kicked away by Claudia Draper. There is Cass on your screen. We used to seeing her play that high striker role and just plough a lone furrow across the top, but now obviously she's got the support of the likes of Grist and McLaughlin and Shand and Spano, so armchair ride for Cass tonight, you would think.
Yeah, certainly got a lot of talent around her, that's for sure. Just waiting for the Storm to get possession here. It's been unbelievable, hasn't it, this first 10 minutes or so?
Well, I haven't seen Mr. Nimke tonight. He's normally set up somewhere with a camera. I haven't seen him tonight. Hello, Darren. I hope you're doing well. But certainly he would be looking at that and he'd be able to give us the possession percentages, or at least we'd see it on Facebook at some point during the week. But yeah,
here we go.
But here is the chance. The Storm have half a chance. Can't quite get around the outside of Sophie Fry. And it's really the first time that the Storm have really been able to set up camp inside the Saints half.
This would be interesting though, because obviously the Saints have had so much possession that it wouldn't it just be devastating for the Storm to go down.
Well, there is the turnover, and there
yeah.
goes Grist, and they do have the odd man rush at the moment. They are 4 against 3 if they can work it right. Good ball inside. Great ball into the circle. Good ball across. Cass fires at a goal.
Great save.
Good save.
Save there by Emily Cochrane.
I think it's Emily Cochrane, but we're not quite sure. Someone will tell us. She's wearing number 17, and they don't have a name next to number 17. Good save, pushed it away. But it was exactly what you said. The first chance they got numbers up front, and then they got hit on the break.
Yeah.
McLaughlin will sit in the sweeper role. Come out near side to Shand. Back to McLaughlin. I don't think it was meant to go all the way through, but found its way through. And an interesting little chat to Melody Cooper before the game. They've not really had much time together as a team. So a lot of this has been, they're going to trust their core skills. They're going to trust that they can play hockey. And all they're doing is talking about structure and game plan and hoping that they can put it together. But they haven't spent a huge amount of time together. But that's part of the point of this, is that, you know, it's to give these girls a chance to play with and against each other, moving into that state program, moving into that Hockey One program.
Yeah, it's a fantastic concept. As I mentioned before, it's the best players from 3 different clubs for each team, and I think it's terrific these girls get to play against and with each other. You know, in other sports, and I know players just love representing their state and playing with these people they play against, most weeks, Dave. So, yeah, it's a terrific concept.
So there is another turnover, and the Storm will go again, just trying to reverse it through, but Shan did well and cut it out. Just Cass couldn't quite bring it under control. Will be a Saints ball, though. It is interesting as well, because as the coaches, and specifically the state coaches, want to look at certain players as we get closer to that state program, don't be surprised to see players move from team to team in this. That's managed to find its way through, and there's the first goal of the game, and that's Emily Grist. Right place, right time, 1-0 Saints.
It had to happen eventually, didn't it, Dave? With that amount of possession they've had in those first 10 or so minutes. And the Saints are off to a good start.
Just got caught under the stick of Alistair, I think, and Grist was, like I said, in the right time, right place, just to pounce on it. Goalkeeper, absolutely no chance. And again, here they come again. Spano back to goal, manages to turn, manages to get a circle entry, manages to get a shot on goal. Keeper did well, stood tall.
You've got to praise the defence of the Storm so far. They are weathered some serious heat from the Saints in these early stages, Dave. To only concede 1 goal is a pretty good effort, I reckon.
Got to keep it going though. I mean, and they will hope to nick one on the break. Couldn't quite get away, and the free hit will relieve the pressure for the Storm. Another loud blast of the whistle, another free hit. Now the Storm can go. They thought about going quickly and decided against it. A little bit of head down and just blind pass down that alleyway. And again, the free hit will allow the Saints to come away. Overhead didn't quite get to where it was intended, but has pushed the Storm back, pushed them onto halfway, almost a loose pass, pounced on by Spano, and it will come near side to Emma Kitto. Emma Kitto will go down the line, nobody able to get that one, and the Saints will be able to launch an attack from inside their own half. Shand will come over to take it. Obviously a superstitious reason for her wearing the number 16. I think I've seen her wear it a number of times now. Good overhead from Shand, and then just couldn't quite control it. Georgie Bridgeland just tried to bring it under control, didn't quite manage it.
Certainly a lot of overheads in the early stages of the game, Dave, like you mentioned before.
And I know there'll be a number of people who'll be happy to see them. Near side, then again they will go down the line. The Saints have done very, very well at getting in front, but now finally almost, the Storm almost got around the back. Now they've gone to play quickly, looking for the free hit, will get the free hit. Player within 5, now they'll come back out to go back in. The first circle entry for the Storm. And it's forced the clearance from the Saints, and they can build again. A little bit of continued pressure from the Storm.
The key is now, can they actually keep that possession and keep it in their forward half?
Well, they've got to get something out of it. They'd want at least a penalty corner out of it, but I don't think they're going to get anything before this quarter finishes. About 5 seconds to go, unless they can get a deflection. Not much more is going to happen in this one.
Almost got him.
That one will go through, and that will be quarter time. And we will just take a very, very short break from the first game of the 2019 in the Statewide Super League. We'll be right back. So welcome back. Just the singular goal in the first quarter, and that went in the way of the Saints. We did get confirmation. Emily Cochran is in goal for the Storm, and Belle Rundle is in goal from the Saints. Not had to mention her name once, really.
Yeah, certainly been down the other end, that's for sure, for 95% of that first quarter.
So the Storm will start with the ball, but again, the Saints managing to just get to it. Tackle forced off the stick of a Storm player, and then the Saints will be able to go again. They were so well behaved last year with their shirt numbers. I think they've had a week off, because I know not everybody is wearing the right numbers. Couldn't find a way through. Now the Storm have got something. There is somebody in the middle if they can find the space. Should get another circle entry, little reverse around the corner, just didn't go to stick, and it will go behind. And Belle Rundle, probably her first action of the game is to go and get the ball from behind. Better start to the second quarter though for the Storm.
Now, can they keep it in their forward half? That's the big question though, Dave. Good pressure on.
Back again they will go. McLaughlin looks near side. Out in front gave her a heck of a load of work to do, and unfortunately she just fell short.
So it's Kiddo now. Oh, well intercepted there by the Storm. The Saints, I should say, sorry. Saints have it in their forward half again.
McLaughlin gets a touch on it, gets it away. Alistair will go after it. Manages to get hold of it and come back. Good challenges again, but the sticks got tied up. And they'll come back. McLaughlin will sit just outside, then play it in field. Another circle entry, deflected wide, and it'll be another long corner.
For those that are watching at home on the live stream, Dave, explain the rule with the sticks getting caught up. Who gets possession with that?
Whoever the umpire decides.
Oh, right.
To be honest, I think in the good old days, I think it would have been a bully off. But yeah, at the moment, just umpire's decision. Another circle entry for the Saints, and there's our first penalty corner of the day, and it will go the way of the Saints. So we'll see whether they've got that. And as we talked about before, these girls haven't had much time, so I would imagine that these penalty corner routines will be made on the fly.
Be interested to see what they come up with.
And we just see, it looks like there's two batteries at the top.
I'll be watching Spano very closely here, I reckon, Dave. What do you think?
Looks like she's, where is Spano?
She's there.
I think she's holding. She's trapping. So there's McLaughlin at the top, along with Grist. Storm have gone 3-1 on the line. Just waiting for something. Injection comes, it will go straight to Grist. Grist will then go off the back stick. Can't quite get there. Still in the circle. Grist just outside, then lets fly from outside. Bobbles around, that's a fantastic save. Can the Storm get it now? Yes, they can. That's why you put the players on the line. That's what they're there for. Now the Storm can look to break. Just put it a little bit too far in front of Kate Holland-Smith.
That was a brilliant save on the line, wasn't it?
See whether I can
Superb
get
stuff.
a number. It just popped up, and that's on the way in. I think it might be the other Holland-Smith. I can't quite see a number. Took a deflection off her own stick, and then she managed to get away with it. The Storm again managed to get their own circle entry, get to the baseline, send it across the front. Played out a danger long corner. Excellent save on the line.
Yes.
Spano with the intercept. Will come near side to Cass. Cass beats the first. Excellent covering challenge, but that's just come up at the back of the back of Cass's hand. Hayley Crowhurst managing to make the interception. Not as cold as it's been over the last couple of days, and I'm sure that Sherilyn Cass will be happy of that.
Yeah, it's almost perfect weather really for hockey, isn't it?
Out to the far side, another circle entry. Again, Holland-Smith manages to get in the way and will clear. Excellent pressure again from Shan, but unfortunately for her, at least the Storm managed to get away.
It's been really good defence by the Storm. I mean, to only concede 1 goal considering the amount of time that the Saints have had possession, Dave.
Only the one, they'll be happy at it. Well, Todd Kitto will be happy. He'll be happy to go into half-time if the lead stays the same.
Be interested to see if they can get him on the counter-attack as well.
Saints happy to work around the back. Now they will release to Shand, and then again out to that far side. Beats the first one, looks inside. Touch around the corner was too strong. And the Saints again just losing out. And the Saints, whoa, just a little bit too far in front of Cass, and that will relieve the pressure for the Storm. It's been really interesting actually to see the difference between quarter number 1 and quarter number 2. As we said, they haven't spent a huge amount of time together, so that's probably the first time that Todd Kitto's been able to actually get them together and coach them essentially. And we have seen a big difference.
Yeah, most definitely. It probably really does take you a game or two to sort of see how each other plays, doesn't it? And like I said, to work out the different types of plays, how you're going to do those penalty corners and whatever.
Edmonds did well, managed to spin a way out of trouble. Just the pass was a little bit loose, and then Shand will pick it up in midfield, then happy to go all the way back. Good interception again. And the Saints will look to build from the back again. And as we've said, the improvement between the first and the second quarter, the Storm holding a much higher defensive line. Attempted overhead, just didn't quite get there.
Storm's really good chance here to score.
Fisher did well, managed to get it outside, gets it back. Fisher one-on-one, has it just poked away. Don't have a listing for the number 7 for the Saints, so if anyone's watching and can tell me who that is.
Hadi Shand on my...
Yeah, Hadi Shand is the number 16.
Yeah, you mentioned that before, yeah.
I know. Yeah, there are some of the girls who I've seen before and some brand new faces, and I'm relying on numbers. So I apologise in advance if I miss anybody or I get anybody wrong. But the white numbers on yellow shirts...
Doesn't help much,
Not
does
great.
it?
Storm are managing to just keep a little bit more pressure on. McLaughlin. Has it poked away?
McLaughlin's been certainly busy in the early stages, Dave. She's been really good. Nearly got that goal before, of course it was saved well on the line.
Good overhead, but cut out by Emma Kitto. Sent forward to Holland Smith, then they will come out to this near side to Draper. Down the line, free hit given, Fisher. Starting to come into the game, starting to get a name called a bit. Esther Fisher. She will go again, look for another circle entry. Wanted something, couldn't get anything. Shand will just whack it away and cast. Turns, props, stops. And look for an outlet pass, didn't quite get one.
Oh. Almost intercept there by the Saints. They weren't able to make the most of that opportunity though.
Holland Smith sends it back to Lewis.
Storm trying to clear their defence. Good pressure though put on by the Saints. And looks like it's going to be a Saints ball once again.
Not a bad idea. The pass was, you could see the intention of the pass, just didn't quite get there. McLaughlin again will take charge from the back, fire it all the way across. Good ball out, and then just trying to roll around the corner. Chloe Carter didn't quite get there, and again Holland Smith will pick it up just between the lines. She was looking for a free, didn't get one. Certainly had a hint of it coming off the feet. Again, good defence, and they will win the free hit.
I noticed the Storm have been using a lot of long balls as well, Dave. Do you think that's a tactic as part of their game?
Yeah, no, I'd like to see. They've just got to have direction. You can't just hit and hope. The long balls have to have direction, especially with the likes of Holland Smith, who does work hard in that sort of gap between midfield and striker. And she's been a good outlet for them. if you throw an aimless pass, it's going to come back to you.
Yeah.
The Saints again just looking to try and find an opening outside. Can't quite get one at the moment. Carter sends it out to that's not McLaughlin. And the clearance will just give them time to readjust. I haven't had a chance to see the number of the girl who was responsible for the goal line heroics, but now they are away. They have numbers streaming forward. They've just got to do something with it. Had to come back, and Shan makes a wonderful challenge. That is reciprocated by McMahon, and they can keep the pressure on.
Great play there by McMahon. Almost got through the defence there of the Storm.
And just the loose clearance will allow them to go again. Happy to go back, but Spano's going to go and put her under a little bit of pressure. Just a little swipe at her. Gets the free hit. Plays onto herself. Just a little bit loose. Good challenge, though. Will allow the Storm to build again. Good inside ball to Draper. Draper will turn around the corner, play it straight to Cass. Cass will then go to Spano. Spano does well. Instant control. Then we'll bring it up. Excellent covering challenge, though, from Claudia Draper. I think that was coming back.
Terrific defence by Draper. Certainly saved a goal there for sure.
Shand will play onto herself, then just fire it into the circle. Good interception. Holland Smith looking to get out. Does get out, plays onto herself. And then has to keep going again. Kate Holland Smith wearing the number 4. There's 2 of them out there, Lucy and Kate. Saw the almost instant control of Spano. Puts the ball exactly where she wanted it now. Cass will intercept. She'll be able to stride towards goal and fire across the front.
Sensational goal there.
Too much time, too much space for Sherilyn Cass, and she made the Storm pay. About 3.5 minutes to go in this second quarter.
I guess the damn walls had to open eventually, didn't they, with the amount of possession they've had in this first half so far, Dave?
Yeah, but certainly the second quarter, the Storm have certainly come into it, and that's just individual brilliance from Cass.
Yeah.
The intercept, and then given all the time and space in the world, and that's where you put them. You can put 3 goalkeepers in, you ain't going to stop them.
They couldn't get much better strike than that, that's for sure.
And now Grist will send it into the circle. Still in there. Cass again, looking for number 2. Now they're going to try and find a foot or something, and
great.
Deflected wide for a long corner.
Great work by Emily Cochran on the last line there. Saved a certain goal, I think, there, Dave. She's certainly had her work cut out this first half so far, hasn't she, Cochran?
Yeah, and just at the end of this second quarter, the Saints have really come back into it. Just pressing the loud pedal a little bit harder. McLaughlin will try and thread one through. That'll go outside. Just hear the familiar voice of Dan Mitchell down on the sideline, coaching the Eastern Saints with Melody Cooper. Spano ran into a blind alley. The Storm have shut the door. Trying to play out a defence. Done well so far. Nice little pass. Excellent trap out of the air. And now the Storm can go. That's a good ball out on that far side to Holland Smith. Holland Smith will stride into dangerous territory for the Saints. Now she will just try and beat that last player. Can't quite get there. Gives away the free hit.
Great defence there by Cass.
Well, one end of the field to the other. I swear, I don't know whether they're wearing GPS, but someone should put GPS on Sherilyn Cass.
For those people who just started watching, she was the one that scored that last brilliant goal there. Of course, for the Eastern Saints side, who are up 2-0 in this, nearly the end of this first half.
McLaughlin will get her head up early. Look to find a pass through to Grist. Grist does well to bring it under control. We'll find Spano. Just has it knocked away. Haley Crowhurst managing to get a stick in. And then Holland Smith, is that Emma Kitto, sorry. As it poked away, but it will be a Storm ball.
You're right, Dave. It'd be nice if the numbers are black rather than white.
Yeah, well, next year.
Yeah.
Holland Smith goes again, then back in field. Gets a return ball, just couldn't quite wrangle it under control. So we approach 1 minute to go in this second quarter. Played off a foot, and the Saints will be able to look for another one. Spano absolutely surrounded, managed to find a pass from somewhere, but there was a foot on the way through. Don't think Emily Grist agreed.
Right smile now.
Disagreed in the most politest possible way. Holland Smith absolutely surrounded, has to battle her way through it and gets a free hit for her troubles.
It's good work having two players on there. She did really well.
Emma Kitto will stand over it. 10 seconds left, and I think they'll just be happy to get to half time as it's fired down the line, and you would think that would be about it. So 2-0. First goal of the game coming to the Saints in the first quarter, and then Sherilyn Cass finishing off in absolutely fine style. So that's 2 quarters in the books, 2 to go in this statewide Super League first game of 2019. We'll step out for a short break. We'll be back with you very, very soon. finish. Whittaker will put the Pirates in front with the best goal we've seen so far. Here come the Saints, fired across the front. Goal by Mercy. Give her half an inch and she will punish you. Baxter, one of the greatest finishes we've seen on any of our broadcasts. So welcome back to quarter number 3, half number 2, where we are getting ready to go. That is the Southern Storm, who are around Todd Kitto, getting ready for quarter number 3. And interesting first half. It was a tale of two halves in the first half, really. First quarter, the Saints were all over the top of it. The Storm came back into it in the second half, and then just that interception and strike by Sherilyn Cass just pushed them out to a 2-0 lead. But certainly the Storm looked like they were coming into it.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them come back even further into this one.
I think they'll need to get a lot more possession though in the second half, Dave, because we saw with the Saints in that first half, they had, especially the first quarter, they had so much possession, and obviously that resulted in that first goal.
So second half underway. I think if you're looking around, I mean, especially from the Storm point of view, the Holland-Smith sisters have been good as per usual. Every time we see them play, they get their names called a fair bit and they put the hard work in. Just Esther Fisher starting to get her name called a little bit through the second quarter as well.
And McLaughlin's been really impressive too, I reckon, in the early stages.
Storm looking to get out, intercepted by McLaughlin.
There she is.
Just asking to take it all the way back, and then we'll come out to this near side to Fry. Fry will fire it in, just deflected off the stick of Alistair. Go behind for another long corner. Interesting to see Hattie Shander's just taken up a sweeper position. Moving out of her usual midfield. It'd be interesting to see where she just does shifts with McLaughlin, really. Swapping between the sweeper and that midfield role.
Storm will certainly be looking to get a couple of goals early on to get back into this game, Dave.
Yeah, that's what they will need. Obviously, the lesson we learned from the Mighty Ducks was that it only takes a second to score a goal.
There's another overhead.
Back to halfway, and the Storm just managing to put a little bit more pressure on. Not making it as easy for the Saints, and really making them work for their circle entries in their possession. Then it will go back all the way to McLaughlin, and we have seen that switch. And McLaughlin will go back to sweeper, and Shand will take up her midfield role.
Almost
inch perfect. It was one of the two. It was either too short or inch perfect. She got it absolutely right. McLaughlin again, just trying to direct traffic from the back. Sends it out to Fry. She's going to get it back, and that's Todd Kitto's ladies from down south are doing their job. They're just not allowing the Saints to get through. Now it will find its way to Spano. Can't get past Crowhurst. Fired across, but everybody left it. It'll go over to that far side, and the Storm will be able to try and build an attack from well inside their own half. Fired down the line again. Certainly the start of the second half has been a defensive show from both sides.
The Storm are having trouble just trying to get into their forward. That's been the story so far, Dave. They just can't get past the defence of the Saints.
All the way back to Shand. Happy to play forward. Saints looking like they're happy to play a possession game and then try and pick an opening. Which they've got. They've managed to get across this cast. Then they will get into Spano. Again, the close control from Spano, absolutely faultless. Surrounded by 4 players. Can she get through? She's still going, Spano. Manages to get it up and over the outside. Then we'll concede the free hit, but my word. That's interesting. Quadruple teamed at one point, still managed to almost find a way through. Storm looking to come away.
Showing her class, wasn't
Some questioning of the umpire's decision yet again. Oh, that is absolutely fired forward. No one will get there.
Good chance for the Storm to get on the board here, Dave.
Well, the long corner, they can try and build something. At least they're up the right end of the field. Just went a little bit too wide, so it will be a 16-yard. Just saw Rundle, the goalkeeper for the Saints, hasn't had a huge amount to do. Storm will certainly want to test her a little bit better. Shand, back to McLaughlin. And they will go far side. Back into Thomas. Thomas will get her head up. Looks out onto that far side to Carter. Carter sends it down the line. Will find Pennington. Pennington has it back towards goal, but manages to find Spano. And in the blink of an eye, it was turned goalwards, but just didn't get enough on it. I think the keeper had it covered. I think Emily Cochrane was quite comfortable.
Nice shot there, though, by Spano.
She knows where the goals are. They don't move. Well, they do. They were in a completely different place. Obviously, the Sassy and the Young State teams are out training before tonight. Got to see the future of South Australian hockey running around before this game. That one will be deflected behind and go for a...
Got a fair bit of talent out on show in tonight's game, Dave, which is great to see.
Well, we actually have a real-life face-up going on tonight. We had the juniors before the game, and then we've got the present and over away on field two. I think the Masters are running around. So we've got 3 generations of hockey on a Wednesday night.
Brilliant.
Oh, fired across the front, just couldn't quite get it under control. Kitto almost had it. Would have been able to break away.
Of course, the Masters games, speaking of the Masters, is on in October this year, which is very exciting, Dave.
It's always good fun.
You going to play?
It's the one time of year that people start asking me to play, but possibly not this year. I think I'm going to look after myself. Saints again.
Storm just can't get possession. It's unbelievable.
And it looks like the Saints are happy to sit on a 2-goal lead. That one will be fired in. Just trying to get the feet away. Free hit just outside. Plays on. Manages to go enough. Then we'll get the circle entry. Just couldn't quite wrangle it under control, and it'll go 16-yard hit for the Storm. Just on the hill away to our right, you see the men's Saints team starting to warm up. Just sold it a bit short. Carter can go. Carter will get another circle entry. Managed to pull it back, trying to find the danger area, trying to find anybody in a blue shirt in the middle. Didn't quite get there. Now the Storm can go. If they pick the right pass, they could be away. Good pass, just looked the wrong direction. It could still get there. Working really, really hard, but just runs away from Kira McMahon. Did everything she could. I think it was Holland Smith over on that far side who just looked the wrong side. Clever little ball.
Holland Smith certainly had an influence for her team for the Storm, that's for sure.
That one just ran away. They can do that on this pitch.
Now, can the Storm keep it in their forward half? Doesn't look like they can.
The Saints' ability to play out of the back has been very, very good tonight. Again, we just see them break through into that midfield. Runners everywhere, just going to play advantage for that one, I think. Then it will come to Spano again, one-on-one, goes on the outside, then beats the second one. Can she find a finish? No, she can't. And Cochrane, question asked and answered. And again, they're happy to come back.
Very much a case of keeping possession tonight, isn't it, for the Saints?
Well, if the other team doesn't have the ball, it's pretty difficult for them to score.
Yeah, that's right. Here's a chance for the Storm.
Just can't
But
quite find an outlet pass. Then they will come back again all the way across to Sophie Fry. Fry has an option on the near side if she wants it, and she takes it. Come back to Fry, and again, they're just happy to work around the back.
Good ball
Good
by
ball
McLaughlin.
into Shand, and Shand will just look to send it in towards Cass. Couldn't get anything on it. It's one of those balls that probably just would have been able to get a stick on it, and it would have been enough.
Now, can the Storm break this Saints defence? That's a big question, Dave.
Trying to find that outlet and almost came back again. Holland Smith just got half a stick on it and managed to get Grist to.
She's starting to get busy though, Kate Holland Smith.
Well, the Holland Smiths are always good. You always get the name called a lot. You talk about work rate and the work rate of Cheryl and Cass. The Holland Smith sisters as well, they work really, really hard. Back to McLaughlin. Forward, good interception. Emma Kitto just turned it over eventually. Then Spano just tried to feed Grist. Just couldn't quite get there.
Emily Grist, of course, was the first goal scorer for tonight's game. For those people that are just catching up on our live stream, and the second goal was a terrific one inside the circle by Cass in the second quarter.
Oh, it's Metro 1 women on pitch too, so it's not the Masters, so I apologise. McLaughlin again, happy to come back to Fry. It's kind of the safety that you have with a 2-goal cushion.
Oh, here we go, here's a chance.
Just trying to find a way through to Shand, didn't quite get there. Go all the way back to Fry.
Storm just had to put on the pressure, that's the key, I think.
Just a little bit of a loose pass, and they'll look to try and go early.
So it's Edmonds.
Sent in midfield. Oh,
Kiddo.
lucky not to get the call for the feet there, I think. Certainly there was no advantage to it. Cass will pick it up, looks to roll around the outside, does very, very well to get there, but she's been shepherded down the line, and then ball down the line just too far in front of Pennington.
Good defence by Crowhurst there for the Storm.
I think there is a notable absence from last year. There's no ball kids this week. I'm sure that they would accept them if they want to come down. There's nothing better to do on a Wednesday night than come and watch the hockey at the State Hockey Centre.
Especially when you've got some of the best players in the state as well, Dave, going around.
In the state and, dare I say, in the country.
Yes.
Certainly there are a couple of national level players out here.
Other than Spano, is there any girls that you could see potentially making the squad next year for Tokyo?
For Tokyo, I'm not sure. Certainly Hattie Shander's one to watch for the future, but I think Spano we will definitely see in the green and gold.
Fabulous.
Holland Smith looking to get an entry. Just came off her feet. So they're going to look to come out from the back again, overhead towards halfway. Spano absolutely dead control, and then we'll fire it over to the far side. Then an inside ball. We'll find Carter. Carter will put it in front. Cass goes horizontal, gets a stick to it. She'll score a second of the game, and that was all about determination from Sherilyn Cass.
What about the ball though from Spano? Give that one to her just about. That was sensational.
I mean, that's just good hockey all the way around.
Yeah.
Including, I might add, the goal signal from the umpire, one of the best I've seen.
He loved it, didn't
he? Got all around it. But yes,
on the replay again.
it was all all very, very good, but just determination from Sherilyn Cass. And we've seen some games with Sherilyn Cass who's, you know, run an absolute mile as that one's intercepted by Spano. She'll then go one-on-one. Then we'll find Carter. Carter will send it across the front, just behind. And it will go out for a corner. But we've seen Cass run an absolute mile for little or no gain. And certainly
she's getting rewarded.
She's getting rewarded.
Yeah.
Oh, Spano!
What a goal!
Off the back stick. The reverse tomahawk, half a second, half an inch, that's all she needs. And Spano will score.
Her first goal of the night. What a way to bring up her first goal. She deserves it with the amount of hard work she's been putting in this game.
Well, you did talk about the dam bursting, and it has kind of in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for Storm to get back into this now.
So Storm just looking to try and get away with Ferguson. Ferguson will work down the line, then loose passing field is intercepted by McLaughlin. And they will go far side, just try and build from there. Excellent interception. No, the ball just didn't go where she needed it to go. They would have had the odd man rush.
Good try there by Draper though, good defence.
Speaking of good defence, just taking it. The Saints are marching home from Charlie Roberts. All the Saints cliches.
Yeah.
I think that's the only Saints cliche, really. There isn't much else that you
No,
can say about the Saints.
No.
But they will march on, you would think. Certainly one of the better teams last year, and they'll continue their battle with the Western Pirates. That will be it for quarter number 3. Well, we will take a breath just as we see this this goal, and hopefully the goal signal from the umpire. But this is about as good as it gets. Perfect ball, and then all about the determination. And there he goes. He loves it. That's about as good as it gets. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a small break, and we'll be right back with you soon. So welcome back to quarter number 4, the final 15 minutes of this one, as we see the goal from Spano. Just instant control, and then we were talking about it in the break. She knows where the goals are. She doesn't have to orientate herself. As soon as she's got that ball where she needs it to be, she knows where it's going to go. And,
sensational goal.
Yeah, like I said, we watched the Statewide Super League last year. She wasn't 100%. Now we are seeing a fully in form and fully in flight Mickey Spano. And I make no apologies for waxing lyrical about her. She's a class player.
And it doesn't matter what sport you're watching, Dave, you love watching the best players.
Oh, good interception though, and now they can try and work around the corner, and Draper will send a nice little ball to Kate Holland-Smith, who does manage to wrestle it under control. Then we'll look to get the circle entry. Does very, very well. Nice little deflection. Just didn't manage to get it on target. Could have been a goal back for the Storm. Just trying to find the way through. They will get the free hit. Let's have a look at that one.
Now.
Oh, it just came off the wrong bit of the stick.
Lucy Holland-Smith has it now. Her sister Kate's been playing extremely well for the Storm. But once again, they just can't convert and get inside their forward half. Keep it in their forward half, Dave. It's been all about the Saints this game. Just, we don't have the possession numbers, but I reckon it'd be about 95 to 5%, almost something like that. It's been phenomenal.
So McLaughlin.
Overhead ball.
Good overhead. Well controlled though. Excellent work from Jade Ferguson. She'll then find Holland-Smith, who has to try and beat the Saints player. Does well enough. Free hit. Ferguson into midfield, surrounded by blue shirts, does well just to come back. Lewis did very well, just came back, made a little bit of space for herself, and then managed to come away. One's fired forward. There's not much else going to happen to that. That's just going to run away. That might actually turn out very, very nicely for the Saints, which it did. It managed to go out onto the side, so no 16-yard hit, and then they'll be able to just work around and try and contain the Storm again. Oh, dangerous pass, but very, very well controlled, and that's why it's dangerous to Spano. Good save again from Cochran.
She has conceded the 4 goals, but I think she's done a pretty good job, Dave, tonight, considering the amount of times it's been inside that forward half.
Yeah, you would say that pretty blameless on most of the goals. They're good goals.
Yeah.
You know, and I think from a coaching point of view, I think Todd Kiddo's not going to be disappointed in his goalkeeper.
Especially that last one by Spano. I mean, that would probably get past most goalkeepers in the world, to be honest. That was a brilliant goal.
Another loose pass. Shand will get on it, but just couldn't quite bring it under control. Brooklyn Buchecker, sorry, was trying to get the intercept, and now the Storm will try and release, but they just can't get there. But they will get a free hit to go back. Oh, another loose pass, and it's turned over. Now they will get on goal, just couldn't get it right. Goes across the front and will harmlessly roll out. Alison Pennington just couldn't quite get the stick to it. Another good overhead, but intercepted by the Saints. Free hit conceded though. And they will come to this near side to Holland-Smith. Holland-Smith does well, beats 2.
Brilliant play.
Then will send it into the middle to her sister, who concedes, and then they go. We'll find Spano. Again, the control is instant. Excellent challenge, though. Spano chased back, found Shand. Shand will just try and inch that pass through. Didn't quite make it all the way through. Holland-Smith.
Good defence there by Emily Lewis there.
Back again, and again they'll find Shand. Gets a head up really, really early. We talked about it in the zone championships, the heads up hockey, and that's what we're seeing from these girls. As soon as the ball is under control, their heads are up and they're looking for their options. Most of the time, as it's on the way, straight away head up. Just a loose pass, picked off by Holland-Smith.
We're seeing with the Saints tonight, they've been a lot about keeping possession. Do you think that's a tactical move going into this game, Dave?
I think you would always want to go in and keep possession, but the Storm have allowed them to play around the back and almost egg them on to try and find a way through. And then, unfortunately for the Storm, when they have found a way through, they've punished them.
Yeah.
So, and the Storm just haven't been able to hit them on the break.
Saints' defence being excellent though as well.
Shand looks for a path through. It manages to find its way through, but not the intended path, you wouldn't have thought. And again, the Storm will have to try and get away. Sent forward again, and Spanner was... Oh, green card for Spanner. So she'll come and sit down for a little bit. We will see her again, but umpire not happy with her playing on after the whistle. A little wry smile as she comes to the bench. Maybe she was just tired, wanted a rest. A couple of minutes, sit down. I mean, if you're going to hit it after the whistle, at least score.
Well, she has scored the goal of the night so far, so she should be pretty happy, I think.
Storm trying to get away, but again, they can't seem to do it. The Saints are happy to build a wall around halfway. Again, it's been the same both ways, both the Saints and the Storm, so happy to build a wall. That's an excellent ball through, just couldn't quite get it under control. Georgie Bridgeland almost had it, just couldn't quite get that final touch. Just to go back to that point, the Saints have been happy to allow the Storm to say, well, okay, play through us. And the Storm haven't been able to do it with the effect that the Saints have. Nice little turn, gives herself a little bit of space. Then we'll look for an inside ball. Have to come back. We'll find Lewis. And then we'll go out to the far side and then sent into the middle, but another loose pass, and Shand can pick it up and sends it forward to Cass. See what Cass was thinking, just didn't get hold of it. And that will go for a 16-yard hit, and we are less than 10 minutes to go in this opening statewide Super League game. A game which has been dominated by the Saints, but there has been moments where the Storm have looked good. McLaughlin will intercept.
And what have we got to look forward to with the Western Pirates when they play next week, Dave?
We will see what they've got. I know that it'll be interesting to see what they've got, but we would expect a Port Adelaide heavy side again with certain injections, but to be honest, won't know until we get there. But I'm looking forward to it. Certainly looking forward to seeing the Pirates, both the men's and the women's Pirates. I know the Port Adelaide from the men's side have lost a couple of players this year, so it'll be a new look Pirates side as well. Certainly be a new look side from that, but more of the same I would expect from the women, to be honest. Sent back and did well to bring it under control because there was pressure. Again, a loose one, and the Saints have numbers everywhere. Cass, she will just approach goal, gets in the circle, fires it forward.
Good
Cochrane
save.
Does well, just kicks it back to Cass, then across the front, and that will be Chloe Carter there to pick up the pieces, and that is as easy as it gets for Carter. And she will score her first of the night, and the Saints will go 5-0 up.
Great pass again by Casso. She's having a really good game.
And you just put it in that danger zone in front of the goal, and good strikers will score goals from that point. And there's two of them, and there's backing up as well. So 5-0 with just over 6 minutes to go.
From what we've seen tonight, Dave, Eastern Saints are going to be hard to beat this year.
Well, it is potentially a mouth-watering clash between the Saints and the Pirates. Bristol send that forward. Cass just couldn't quite get it under control. Oh, a loose one, and Carter will pick it up. Then it will be Grist. The Grist will get into the circle. Excellent challenge, though, and the Storm can come away. Head up early and just corralled out onto that far side. Challenge is okay. Umpires say put the sticks away, play on. And they will step back. Shand under a little bit of pressure. Shout lets her know she can come across to Fry. And Fry is happy to go back to McLaughlin. Sent forward again and cut out, and the Storm do have numbers, but they just can't seem to break down this midfield barrier that the Saints set up every time. Shand again has Cass free, just couldn't find a route through. He will turn back inside. Lewis will turn back inside, then find Holland Smith. And again, right time, right place for a player in a blue shirt. Spano beats the first one. And we'll step back inside. Strong again, Spano. Grist sends it across to this near side. Big stick collision in the penalty corner given before the goal. So we will go to another penalty corner, and interestingly, only the second penalty corner of the night. Just can't quite see what that's for. Might be a dangerous stick. There was someone holding the head. Was it Spano who was holding her head? No, it's Cass. Oh, just copped one in the head. The penalty corner was given, but only the second one of the game.
Yeah, this game's been played in really good spirits, hasn't it?
I think as well, the amount of forward pressure that the Saints have put on for them to only concede 2 penalty corners is certainly hats off to the Storm. Being disciplined inside the circle. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a number 12 on my team sheet. Well, number 12 is Jelena McLaughlin. We know that's not her, so I can't give it. But again, we've gone 2 batteries, Shand and McLaughlin at the top. We'll go the trap. McLaughlin with the drag flick, and it's something we've talked about, just things that we don't normally see in the women's game, but McLaughlin with the drag flick, placement was good, Emily Cochrane was there. So it'll be a long corner.
Performance of the Holland Smiths girls being certainly one of the highlights, so I think for the Storm tonight. Do you think, Dave?
Certainly has been. Spano finds herself some space, fires at a goal. Cochrane does well. Spano will pick it up again, looks to get another circle entry, tries to turn around the corner, can't quite get there, happy to just put a foot on the brake and then send it forward. Will find a foot, 3rd penalty corner of the night, and see whether they can pick anything up now. Certainly now, defensively, you'd be keying on Yo-Yo McLaughlin.
Yeah, she's been excellent.
But then there is Shand, and Grist is going to leave. Chloe Carter is there for the near side. Cass is on the far side. So double battery.
Cass going for a hat-trick.
Just waiting on a signal before the injection comes. Sure what we're waiting for. There's a lot of people looking at the tech bench. I think we're ready to go. There is a little bit of variation. This time it will come to Shand. Shand will send it forward. Comes off the stick and will go in, and that will be 6. It's unfortunate, but Hattie Shand will get that one. 6-0 for the Saints. Almost everything. I think that's our same player. I think it's Jade Ferguson, who was heroic on the line in the first half. And that time, unfortunately, just couldn't stop it going in. Just came off her stick.
Still a very good strike by Shand, though.
Loose pass again, and Spano has just latched on it, and again she will go on that near side. That time she didn't get the purchase she wanted, and it will go wide, but it's taken a deflection. Another long corner. And Shand will get there. They've certainly shared the goal scoring around. Chloe Carter's got one, Mickey Spano's got one, Emily Grist has got one, Hattie Shand has got one, and Sharon Cass ruling the roost with the 2.
What do you think the Storm need to do next game, Dave, to get back? Obviously playing better is one of the keys, but what do you think they need to do to improve?
I think they've got to work on their counter-attack. I think if they can build a decent counter-attack, and if they can work that into their game, and they can find their way through the defensive wall, which you know that the Western Pirates will build. If they can find their way through it and they can counter-attack effectively, I think they'll be okay. But you know that you're going to face a tough midfield and a tough defensive line from the Western Pirates. Certainly that would be the way that it would be done. The Storm again will look for another circle entry. Wanted a penalty corner, just couldn't find a foot, so it will be a long corner.
Obviously, like you mentioned before as well, getting to know each other and how each other plays is probably going to make a difference. So you will probably expect to see a better performance next time from the Storm. Now they've got to know each other.
Yeah, I think, you know, when I came tonight, and certainly in the Saints side, there's a lot of familiar faces from last year. Shand and McLaughlin and Grist all played together last year. Makes a difference, yeah. And Spano obviously was involved in this competition as well. But they played together, and a lot of them played together at club. So but the Storm side was certainly, I didn't recognise a huge amount of them. So it's certainly a newer side. We need to look at what this competition is about, and there was a lot of talk about whether people would be, whether they would buy into this and support their areas, which I think people have. But I think the important thing is that there are players who may not play with players of the caliber together that they can now, and they can in this competition, and that's what the competition is for. And it's also to get them ready for a pace of hockey that they will see in Hockey 1.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's why it's now a difference, and they've gone to the 4 quarters. I think the ball kids will be back. They're just on a recruitment drive. The ball kids will come back. Yeah, I think that's the main purpose of this, I think.
Yeah, it's all very exciting, that's for sure.
Good challenge, nice and high, and the Storm could get something centred across the front, just couldn't quite find the target. And first time Bell Rundle really has been under any amount of pressure, and we're about a minute to go. So you would say the Saints have just taken this one very, very easily. The first round of the statewide Super League will go, first blood will go to the Saints. The Storm were impressive for most of this defensively, but anybody who has a defensive game, once you hit the 4th quarter, the chances are that the dam is going to break.
Exactly, especially the amount of possession that the Saints have had as well in this game.
The Storm still going inside 30 seconds, and they are still going. Free hit just outside the circle.
We've got the men's game coming up as well, which should be very interesting. The Saints be going for a double header, Dave?
That I think is going to be a different kettle of fish. That is definitely going to be a different kettle of fish, and that one is I can't wait to see that one.
You going for the Storm? Yep.
No, I'm going to wait and see who's out there at the moment, because obviously the dangerous Lockie Bussico is coming up, but there is the absolute legend that is Brody Gleason will be wearing the blue for the Saints. Can't wait to see that one. But this one is in the books. The Saints winning that one 6-0. Goal scorers Chloe Carter, Mickey Spano, Emily Grist, Hanny Shand and Sherilyn Cass getting the 2. The Storm unfortunately scoreless in that one. Ladies and gentlemen, we will take a small break, and we will be back for the men's game where the Eastern Saints will take on the Southern Storm. From me and Bevan Jones, thank you very much for spending your time with us, and we will speak to you again soon.